The final tissue type that we need to talk about is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue has the function of conducting and even coordinating body information through the conduction of electrochemical signals. Now, in nervous tissue, we really have only two kinds of cells. We have neurons, and we have another type of cell called neuroglia. Neurons are the workhorse of the nervous tissue. They are going to be the conductors of sensory impulses. And we have three different kinds of neurons that we're going to explore a little bit later on in the year. We have motor neurons, which are responsible for movement of the body. We have sensory neurons, which are going to conduct information about the environment to the central nervous system. And then we have interneurons, which connect the two. If you take a look at the picture, a neuron, this is a typical neuron. It kind of looks like a spidery looking cell, like so. Here's the nucleus there in the center. But that's what a typical neuron is going to look like. But there are other cells in the nervous tissue that, although they don't participate in the conduction of sensory impulses, they do make the environment for the neurons livable. Without these other cells called neuroglia, the neurons would not be able to survive. So the neuroglia are typically smaller cells, and their general purpose is to support the neurons. And they're going to make sure in general that the extracellular fluid is just right for the efficient functioning of neurons. So there are a number of neuroglia that you read about in the book. The first kind is the microglia. And these are going to maintain ion balance. The second type are called astrocytes. And they are going to provide organization and support for the neurons. We have oligodendrites. And oligodendrites are special because they form a sheath called the myelin sheath around the axons of the neurons. This is going to help to protect the neuron, and it's also going to increase the speed of nervous impulses. So if we were to draw a picture of a typical neuron, the axon is here. And the electrical impulse will start here at the dendrites of the neuron. It'll go through the cell body and down the axon. So the axon here is covered with this myelin sheath that the oligodendrites produce. And this is going to allow the conduction of that nervous impulse to go faster. And the nervous impulse is always going to travel from dendrite to axon. It's never going to go in the opposite direction. If it could, then we could easily become confused as to what to do. Our electrochemical signals would be confused. The final type of neuroglia is an ependymal cell. And the ependymal cells are going to produce a fluid to protect the brain. You would know this fluid as CSF, or cerebrospinal fluid. And that's it for the 4 types of tissue. Thanks.